Hello, my wonderful friends. Megas here on a beautiful day in Asha. Oh, so full of love. So excited for today's video. We're going to talk about so much. We're going to talk about that video, my 5 favorite books of all time, which many of you are here because of that video. We're going to talk about spirit guides. We're going to talk about so much. This is a Tuesday. Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week. But they're the day we just settle in and spend time together, love on each other. And I promise you, if you've never made it to the end of a Megas video, you're missing so much. I know sometimes they go long. I know sometimes I go down different rabbit holes, and I think people probably get bored and click off. You're missing so much. Just try this one time. Stay to the end and see if you don't experience something like you've never experienced. We're going to talk about music. I'm going to share some beautiful music. I'm going to share true stories of miracles. And we're going to talk about spirit guides and how they helped me with that video. My 5 favorite books of all time, that many of you are here because of that. And you might need a little love, a little help from the other side. And they offer so much. I'm going to share some stories with you guys. So let me show you something. I've been doing this channel for a long time, over 8 years. We're pushing 9 here. And I give everything to it because I love the message. I love positivity. I love putting a good message and love and light into the world. But I got to a point where I was really getting burnout about 5 months ago. And you'll see, here's my video, my 5 favorite books of all time. That's 5 months ago. That was February 26th. It's got 170,000 views so far, and it's still going. It's got 7.2 thousand likes and 800 comments. Beautiful, beautiful comments. And I've had so many people tell me, Megas, I cried watching that. I mean, a lot. If you go through there, a lot of people, they said they actually cried. And, you know, we all watch the same book videos. We're book lovers. They don't always make you cry. There was something different in that one. Couple things going on there I'm going to get to. And it has to do with the spirit guides. So let me show you something. The 4 videos before that one, I had kind of got in my mind, I think I'm done with YouTube videos. So I thought, you know what? Jesus has always been such a good guide to me. I'm not a Christian, but I love Jesus with all my heart. He's my friend. He's my guide. I love you, Jesus, so much. You know that. So I thought I'm going to let my last videos be about Jesus, right? Pointing people to Jesus, but reminding them, I'm not talking Christianity here. But Jesus, good guide. Always take you to the loving Father. You can trust him. So that was 3 videos. And then the very last one before I was going to quit, it was called Forbidden Occult Knowledge, Life-Changing Message. That got 180 views. Matter of fact, you know what, guys? I'm going to put a link to that at the end of this. You got to watch it. It's cringy. I dropped the F-bomb like 3 or 4 times. The gist of the message was don't be a dick, right? You could tell I was at the end of my rope, but my God, it's a really good video, a really good message. And I watched it twice this morning because I'm thinking, my God, that was a really good message. It was like, you could tell I was like, done. But it was one of the best messages I put out. So don't miss that. I'll put a link in the end screen. Like the last 30 seconds of this video, there'll be a little thing you can click on to go to it. So then the next day, that was the 25th. The 26th, I was done. I was not going to make a video. I couldn't. I literally physically couldn't make myself to do it. Because if you've seen my old videos, I would just speak till I was hoarse. I would sing till I was hoarse. I would pour out every bit of energy I had to bring this love and light into the world. And my YouTube channel was just not growing. At that point, after 8 years, I had 5,000 subscribers. In one, I'd say it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks. We did that. We got 5,000 subscribers with my all-time favorite video, book video. In a couple weeks, we had 5,000 new viewers, passionate followers and viewers. Exactly what I needed. And that video almost didn't get made that you guys love so much, that I love so much. But my spirit guides, she actually gave me her name. And I haven't shared these before, but yesterday I made a song to her. If you didn't see it, it's called Lila. Go listen to it. You guys have already told me that have heard it. You'll feel it. It is absolute beauty. It's magic. It's awesome. But Spirit Guide Lila, I was in that realm between awake and asleep, and she saw something in me, and she partnered with me. And she didn't want me to quit and not make that video, and I was pushed to do it. And so what you saw there was just raw Magus. There was no facade. There was no ego. There was no show. I was just pouring out my heart about my love for these 5 books. And God, I do love those books. And I love the words and the story. And you guys sensed that. But you also sensed Lila. You sensed that divine feminine, that kindness that she showed me, reaching her hand out to me. You felt her reaching out to you. And I never shared that before. The very next day, so that was what, the 26th, the 27th, Lila and Spartacus. Now, when I say something like Spartacus, these are archetypes, right? When you're dealing with certain spirit guides, like if they told you whatever their name is, Bob or something, it wouldn't mean anything to you. So a lot of times you'll get an archetype. And so Spartacus, it's the archetype of fighting Rome, right? I mean, the dark system that we see in the world right now is Rome. Right? I got to wonder for my best friend, his kids are in school, and he said he had to take them out of public school because he didn't like what he was seeing. And you know what? If you send your children to Roman education, don't be shocked when you have Romans running around your house, right? They get in their heads with their Roman religions and their Roman education and their Roman entertainment, right? Bombarded all the time. That's why our message of the Magi and Asha is so important. And so my spirit guide Spartacus, Jesus has always been a beautiful guide for me. So beautiful. The Magi that were, are, and shall be, right? Hashem Vahu. When you pray the Zoroastrian prayer, Hashem Vahu, you partner with the All Good Spirit, with the Magi who were, are, and shall be, and all the holy spells that have ever been prayed and shall be prayed. My friends, that's why I live really, really good. So the very next day, I was at the grocery store. Got my groceries. I was backing out, and I heard my spirit guide say, stop. And they're kind of comical about it. It said, you don't want to get sued today. And if you keep going, you're going to get hit. And it's going to ruin this perfect day you're having. Because I had just gone to the grocery store. And I'll tell you another story about that. It's an absolute miracle. Went to the bookstore, which I love. I was having the best day. Couldn't wait to get home, eat all my snacks. Spirit said, stop. So I stopped, put it in park, foot off. And a car just a few seconds later zoomed behind me, a little junky car, and it seemed like he was looking to get hit for like an insurance type fraud. So I stopped and watched him. About 30 seconds later, he saw some reverse lights on the other lane, shot right behind him, got hit, and oh, my neck, and trying to get insurance money in this hunk of junk car. My spirit guide saved me. Now, earlier that day, in the grocery store, will you guys stay with me? This is a fun story, and they're important. I have 2 grocery stores I go to, and one is my favorite, but there's a couple checkers I do not like. They're so rude. They like throw my food around almost like they're on a TikTok video trying to get laughs. So like, am I being filmed here to get my reaction? And I don't like being with them, but I love that store. And so that morning I decided, I'm just going to go to my favorite store. And if I get the crazy one, it's worth it to go there. And then I got this vision. I get dreams and visions. And my spirit guide showed me a vision of me. I got in line because I saw that it wasn't that checker. And I go, oh, good. It's one of the checkers I like. And I get up to the line, and then the checker I don't like comes, relieves her, and then I got her. And so I had that in a vision. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go anyway. And guys, I kid you not, I got all my groceries. I'm looking up and down the aisles, make sure it's not the checkers I don't like. I see the one I like. And so get in that line. I get up to her and we're just talking, and we made a connection. I was sending her love, sending her Asha, and she was sending it back. We're making eye contact. We just had a connection. It was beautiful. And sure enough, the one I didn't like comes up and says, "It's your break. I'll relieve you." And she stopped for a minute, looked back at me and said, "You know what, let me finish up with this guy, and then I'll go on my break." Is that beautiful? So I was feeling all good about that. I've been to the bookstore earlier, and then I was backing out. Spirit guide told me to stop. That's the beauty of spirit guides. And I've had so many experiences like that I've shared with you guys. And we need those eyes in the sky. It's nice to get these downloads, right? And one of my favorite stories, and the reason I know a lot of my old time followers know these, but again, we have new people from that my 5 favorite book video haven't heard these, and it's important to hear them. One, it builds your faith. It lets you know there's more. And it's also a great reminder to me. I love telling these, being grateful, being thankful. So one time, I was in that place again between awake and asleep, and Spirit took me to the bottom of my ex-wife's driveway. Now, to build up to that, about 2 weeks earlier, I had this really bad feeling. Something bad was going to happen, and I knew it was with the kids. I told my ex-wife, my parents, teachers, everyone, watch out. Something's going on. Keep an eye on the kids, extra eye on the kids right now. This horrible feeling lasted for weeks, unfortunately. But then one morning, in that place between awake and asleep, where I get these messages and downloads, Spirit took me in spirit to the bottom of my ex-wife's driveway and told me to put up a shield of faith. And so I didn't know what that was. Spirit walked me through it, and it was basically like a force field blocking off the street from the driveway. And then I came out of the vision. I had complete peace. That awful feeling went away. I was like, whew, thank God. And so I got a call later that day from my ex-wife. And she said my son was on his scooter, and there's a real steep driveway, and the kids love going down it on their bikes and scooters, and then they'd go out into the street. And is usually fairly safe because you could see up and down the street, and it was a family-oriented street, people usually not speeding. But this day, there was a car parked where my son couldn't see the cars coming this way, and there were some young wild idiots driving as fast as they could down the street. So my son's coming down the driveway, the car's coming. My ex-wife said she could see it was going to be an accident. She was screaming for him to stop, but he couldn't hear her because between them, her new husband was mowing the lawn. She said it was like a nightmare, something only in the movies they could come up with. It was so horrid. But she said, you won't believe it. I don't know what happened, but he got down to the bottom of the driveway, and she said he bounced off of an invisible shield. My friends, and it's magic. It's magi magic. And we have these powers. We have these guides. And, you know, I have a lot of these stories. I'm not going to go through them all because there's a lot of other stuff I want to talk about today. But you can trust your guides when you get the right gods, the right guides. And that's why I push this book, my book, so hard. Because this is the kind of spirit guides you want. And I got to be careful how I approach this, because I don't want to offend, because you'll just shut me off and you'll miss this. But this God, these spirit guides are just good. What do you mean by that, Magus? Aren't all gods and angels and good? Let me just use the religion I was raised up in. The religion I was raised in, God could love or hate. Don't cut me off here. I got a lot more I want to talk about. I know some of my regular followers are going, oh, okay, I know this speech. I know where it's going. Stay, I got more. I'll go through this quick. But the religion I was raised in, God could love or hate. He could be at peace or war. He could heal or send disease. Right? So it's mixed. This is the only religion that's not mixed. It's never confusing. You know every message you get, if it's Asha, if it's Mazda, if it's the All Good Spirit or not. It's never, like the stories you heard of in the religion I was raised in, kill your son to prove your loyalty and love for me. Right? Or the story of Job, a bet between, it's supposed to be God and the devil, and the devil says, well, kill his family, take everything away from him, make him sick and diseased, and then see if he loves you. And supposedly in this story, God goes, okay, and does all that stuff, and then he still loves them. Hey, it's like, that's not God. That's not good, my friends. There's never confusion. If you get sick and diseased, it's not God trying to teach you a lesson. If your child dies, it's not because God wants you to stop masturbating. So the crazy things people come up with to try to hang on to their God, that's not very good. Our God is always good, always protecting. You know what's beautiful? My son was not a stain in the street, under a car, bloody dead, crying, my life ruined, because Asha is. Now, you might have been a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew or whatever else, and your life would have been ruined with your mixed gods, right? They don't think twice about your suffering. They don't care if your child is sick and suffering, and you can cry. And my God, I just saw this last year, and it broke my heart. I was in a prayer group for years. I have a gift of prophecy. And in that place between awake and asleep, I always know that I know that I know. And I've never been wrong when I've given a prophecy. Go back to my channel for 8 years. And sometimes I've had to say things that hurt me. My God, my wonderful friend Dorothy. I mean, you never seen a magi, a follower like her. And I never will forget her. And my magi will never forget her. She gave herself. To the day she died, she was spreading love and positivity. And I remember she got cancer. And she came to me and said, Magus, am I going to die? So I went to Spirit. I meditated and I prayed and I saw, no, you are not going to die. I knew it. I've never been wrong. And I'll tell you, let me finish this one. Second time she came to me. This was years later. The cancer came back. She said, Magus, it's come back. Am I going to die? Went into meditation. I did not see her living through this one. I would never lie to anyone. And I was honest. I said, I'm sorry. I started giving her messages about how great it's going to be on the other side. As a matter of fact, I told her if people knew how great it was, they'd be probably committing suicide. So let's just keep this between us, right? It's beautiful. And you're going to be a part of that magi still that were, are, and shall be. We'll always be together as a family, right? You'll still be helping our cause. But there's going to be no pain and suffering. You're going to be in that pure light, Dorothy. And it broke my heart. But it was true, and she passed. In this prayer group I was telling you about, I was with for years, I was always kind of getting in trouble. I was like the troubled child, but I was always right. They knew I had a gift of prophecy, and I was never wrong. And we'd have people come to us and for healing. We had a lot of great healings take place in our prayer group, but I knew if they were going to be healed or not healed. And I remember this one time, the leader of our group, Ryan, which is going to work into another story here you're going to see for you that are still here. Ryan, don't let me forget Ryan. He said, hey, come on, lay your hands on this guy. I said, it won't do any good. He's not going to get better. You know, I wasn't trying to be mean or anything, but I just already saw it. You know, we could put our energy into something better instead of building this hope up. And that's what they like to do. They just talk positive. They'd say, you know, well, here's what the Bible says. We laid hands, we anointed oil. You are healed. He's not healed. And he's going to die. So we ought to be helping him in a different way. And I remember them saying, you know, Magus, you got to kind of follow the formula here. But I say, I see it. I know it. Another time, a woman came and she was so excited and that her husband had brought her flowers and candy and was a changed person. I saw he was cheating on her. He had guilt and different things going on. And so I just said it. I said, oh, okay, guys, you know, here's what I saw. And I remember this one guy, I don't need to use his name, sweet soul, but he said, Magus, kind of like, he's not in a mean way, what's wrong with you? You know, he goes, stay positive. You know, keep speaking positivity. Right? But I knew, I saw it. And so shouldn't we be working and helping her get through that her husband's cheating on her? You know, and they knew I was a prophet. They knew I see this thing. They knew I was never wrong. If I said it, it was. Every time. So this poor guy that I'm talking about that was telling me, Magus, you know, he got cancer last year. And suffered, my friends. And it was so sad. He was begging out, doing all the things that he was taught that don't work. Right? And he wasn't ready to accept my message of the all good spirit of Asha. Right? Once they get kind of locked in, right? That's just where it's almost impossible to get people out of the religion they're raised up in. It becomes their truth. If mom and dad, grandma and papa, all these people that you look up to, that when you're a kid and they took you to Sunday school and said, this man, this building, this book represents God, there's nothing else. And for years you were just fed it. It becomes your truth. And there was no other way. So sad. That's why we need this. We need Asha. Asha is the perfect creator's perfect idea, the only thing that could come from his perfect mind. Can I share a few more stories? I got more I want to talk about today, but this is our Tuesday. This is when we hang out. To the smallest things, Good Spirit cares. This was when I was still married, and my marriage was going through a rough spell. I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. And we needed a good day. And we were at the beach and actually having a really fun day. The kids were happy. The wife was happy, which never happened. The kids were always happy. Me and the kids, we had the best bond, the best friendship. The wife, that's why I'm still single today. I don't know how to keep a woman happy, guys. Don't ever take marital advice from Magus. I tried, but she had no love or respect for me. But I wanted to have a good day. And it was a Sunday, I had given the rest of the money I had till the next month. I got another paycheck into the plate at church. And the meter was running out in the parking lot. We needed to get some drinks because it was getting hot. I needed some more money. And I was thinking, I put it all on the plate. And I said, Good Spirit, I'm having a good day. I need this. I need some money. I kid you not, guys, like that, there's a $20 bill laying on my leg, magically. Not like because of my beard, maybe someone thought I was a hobo and put money in my lap or something. No, it was magically a $20 bill appeared on my lap. And you guys, you know the stories. My friend that was about to get abducted, they froze like statues. Story after story. Beautiful things. I told the story yesterday of my friend being healed from OCD, that they said it was impossible. Just beautiful magic and miracles from Asha. Now, the thing I wanted to tell you at the beginning, I forgot because I went down my rabbit holes. Who's with me at 25 minutes in? I wanted to talk about music. So I wrote that song to Lila, thanking her for not letting me quit and helping me with that video that have brought so many of you beautiful friends into my life. Introduced you to Asha. How many of you now have Asha because of that video, my 5 favorite books of all time? Now you have Asha. Thank you, Lila. So I made a song to her last night. Then I started thinking about music. And I started thinking about our very first song. I'm going to share just a minute clip of it with you guys. It was called Asha Is by Karina Rain Smith. And oh, I love this song so much. But Spirit spoke into my heart many years ago. We needed music. You know, Zarathustra's Gathas were written in songs. Kind of funny thing. I guess maybe because I'm American, you know, and when I do my Yata'ahu and Hashem I've had Zoroastrians from like Iran and India be like, Magus, you're doing it wrong, right? They have a certain way they do it, and I don't know, man, it feels pretty right to me, you know, so I'm gonna keep doing it the way it feels good to me, because if it works, that's what I do, and my way works for me. And so Spirit told me I needed to have music on our channel. There's power in music. So I started racking my brain. Who do I know? First person that popped into my mind was Ryan, the guy from my old prayer group. He could sing so good. I couldn't find his number. My parents lost his number. I couldn't find any friends that had his number. So I was like, all right, Ryan's out. Then I thought of my pastor, his wife, they sing like, I know, angels, a bird. I mean, just it's spiritual. But I was thinking, they're not going to be on board with my message. So that's out. I got a hold of my cousin because he works in the music industry. That was going to be way too much money to get like a professional, you know. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I grabbed my guitar. I started kind of singing and playing. I was all, ooh, I don't want to run people off here, you know. And then something bubbled up in me. And this is what usually happens when I prophesy. I'm prophesying to myself. It comes out of nowhere. I'm not thinking it. I'm just speaking it before I'm thinking, but in a good way. You know, I've done it the other way too. And I said, tomorrow, this is beautiful, guys. Tomorrow, someone will run up to me and say, I have a song for you. Now, after I spoke that, I thought about what I said. I live in the middle of the woods. Sometimes I can go weeks without seeing another soul. You know, I'm thinking, oh, how is this prophecy going to come true? And here I'm just telling you, none of my prophecies have ever failed. This one I'm going, ooh, boy, this is, you know, we'll see. The next day, I was out for a walk, and there was a gentleman working on a house, remodeling it. He runs out to me, all excited with a phone in his hand. He's all, you got to see this. It's my daughter. She has a YouTube video. She's making music. And he played it. And it was like an angel singing. He started to get tears in his eyes. I'm getting tears in my eyes for a different reason. Because I'm thinking, oh my God, this prophecy that I prophesied yesterday, that tomorrow someone will run up to me and say, I have a song for you, just took place. So he's crying because his daughter's so beautiful. I'm crying because I really am a prophet, you know? And so I told him, you know, this might sound weird. Here's what happened. And I told him the story, and he gave me his daughter's phone number. We talked. She came out to the beautiful castle in the woods, which you'll see in this little clip, in the same living room where the day before I was decreeing and declaring someone would run up to me, and she plays Asha Is. And tears, again, were streaming down my face as she sang, and my lip was quivering, and I had that funny feeling in my stomach because it was magic. It was an answer to prayer. It was a prophecy. And it's so beautiful. And it was the start of all this other beautiful music we've had. Okay, so let me just play a little minute clip of this song. But stay, because it's Tuesday. We're going to pull a tarot card, talk some more. You know, I love spending this time with you. So enjoy this. I'll be right back.
You are divine light. Take a look inside.
feel that? Do you feel that? That is the power and magic of the Magi. So beautiful. All right, let's grab our deck. Let's give them a shuffle. Oh, I just saw the Four of Swords go by. Funny story to that one. There was a time just saw it again. There was a time where I pulled it every time. That was like the message Spirit was trying to give to me. It lasted for about a year, but still has a special place in my heart. Oh, this is a good one. The Hanged Man. This is about perspective. You get a totally different view when you're hanging upside down. You know what that makes me think of? This is perfect. Let me find this. This is from, let's see, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Oh, you got to see this. This is perfect for that. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause the video and come back, find it. But it says, this is from the Yoga Sutras. It says, ignorance is not just the absence of right knowledge. It is an actual type of perception, a perception of reality that is opposite of true knowledge, a real mental state that creates a reality. My friends, the perception you have will create a reality, right? You'll see the world that way. And we talked about this. It can go to the craziest levels where like, if they're raised in a certain perception, that if it's in a book that a Jewish mother would stone her own child for being disrespectful because in her mind, her perception, there's no other way. Right? There are people that would strap bombs on themselves to this day, go in and blow up innocent people so they'll get 72 virgins in heaven. That's a perception, and it makes a reality of hell and suffering. But it's not the real. The real is Asha, which is the perfect creator's perfect idea. Sometimes we got to flip things upside down, right? And it's not always comfortable. When you get your, beliefs shaken, things that you thought were true from when you were a kid, and the legs get kicked out from under you, it's a little scary. You get disoriented, right? But sometimes you need a different perception because your perception will create a reality. Can I read that again? It says, ignorance is not just the absence of right knowledge. It is an actual type of perception, a perception of reality that is opposite of true knowledge, a real mental state that creates a reality. That is powerful. So it took me a while to find that because I wrote it right there at Asha 5 at the top because it goes perfect with it. Listen to what Asha 5 says. It says, believe only the highest truth, and you enter Asha. As the wise Lord is perfect, so his idea of creation is perfect. This is called Asha, truth. This idea of truth is the very spirit of God. It is much more than not making a false statement. It is the true vision of God's ideal existence. Here it is. It is the real above all real. The highest truth, creation in perfect order and harmony, where nothing occurs at the expense or harm of another. Can I share something beautiful with you? As we're talking about spirit guides, Jesus told me this. I was in that place between awake and asleep, and Jesus was there. And I asked him, I said, this is the first time I really saw him face to face, right? And I had his attention where he's looking in my eyes, and it's like I had him. And I said, Jesus, what is this life all about? And he told me it's to know the real above all real. Jesus said that. What is this life about? Have you ever wondered that? This is what my guide Jesus, that I trust 100%, because he always takes me to the loving Father. He said this life is to know the real above all real. right? To get that right perception, to get that right God, to get the real God, right? Did you notice Jesus' God, the loving Father, looked a lot different than the God of the Jewish people? You know, when Jesus was born and the Magi came and worshiped him, in that same chapter, look, it said the Jewish people were afraid when they heard the Messiah was born. In that same chapter of Matthew, it said the Magi heard from Spirit, followed the light to worship Jesus and bring him gifts. That's Zoroastrianism. That's the Magi. That's Asha. That's the all-good Father. You know, when James and John said, Jesus, should we call down fire from heaven on this town that rejected our message like Elias did? Jesus said, you don't know what spirit you are of. When the Pharisees caught the woman in adultery and said, Jesus, should we stone her like Moses said? He said, no. Right? It's simple. Good is good, bad is bad. God has been misrepresented. Jesus brought back the true image of who God is. If we'll restore God's image, take that spirit into us, we'll change this world. That's what we do here at the Order of the Magi with Asha. We help people get a different perspective. And you know what? Once they get it, it's easy. Magi, can you even think back when you thought that God, we're not talking the devil here, what you thought was God, the highest principle of good, would send soldiers in to kill men, women, and children and take sex slaves? Or that God would take Jephthah's sacrifice of his own daughter because he was victorious in war, where he said if he went in and killed the men, women, and children and brought back the spoils to the Lord, right? He had sacrificed the first person that walked out of his home. And you know, it said the Jewish people celebrate Jephthah every year for thousands of years, celebrating what a great man of valor they called him, that he would keep his promise to Jehovah and kill his daughter. Right? Or how about Abraham, that he would sacrifice his son to show his love? That's disgusting. You know, in our religion, you never have to be confused. If you ever hear a voice like that, you know it ain't God, that ain't Mazda, that ain't the God of the original religion that's all good. And it takes all the confusion away. You know good is good and bad is bad, right is right, wrong is wrong. And when you hear one of those voices, you're all, see you later. Right? You don't even get lost and confused and crying and who is this and what's going on? You know good is good and bad is bad. And that's why Asha 13 is my all-time favorite. I love Asha 12. I love Asha 5. But there's nothing like Asha 13. Grab your book, Asha. Go to Asha 13 and we'll finish up here, guys. Again, we're at 94 reviews at Amazon. I want to hit 100 so bad. Go leave your review, please, if you haven't yet on Amazon. And tell what this little orange book has meant to you. Asha 13 says, good is good and bad is bad. The original word, that frequency, that word, that sound, that energy that holds form and matter together, that original word was just good because it came from a just good mind. It wasn't mixed. Wasn't good and bad, love and hate, peace and war. It was just good from God good's mind. The original word is that all good comes from the Creator and no evil comes from him. From this original word, the spiritual world is made straight and the material world is brought into order. The original word of false religion is that evil comes from the Creator, and in this false idea is all the evil that creatures suffer. My friend, restore God's image today. Take that true spirit into you. Let it become you. Know it. Become it. Be the God good. Be the love, the peace, the joy, the power, the freedom, the magic. My friends, and you'll see a beautiful world that already exists. You'll just step into it by attuning yourself. My friends, it's resonance. You'll be sucked right into it. Or will it be sucked to you? Or will you meet somewhere in the middle? All I know is it will be Asha is. My friends. All right. Last thing. I'm going to try to remember when I go in to edit this. There should be a little box appearing right here that you can click on. And it's that video right before I made the video of my 5 favorite books of all time. I think it's worth watching. It's funny. It's cringy. It's great, my friends. And then there's one more thing I'd like to ask of you to do. This is just for the Magi. And I know who the Magi are because you're the only ones still here. This is a long video. And so if you're still here, I know you'll do this. There's a video. If you go to my playlist, and you'll see my music playlist, there's a video there with Asha's face on it. It's 28 minutes long. Just listen to the words of those songs. Let it just wash over you. You know, you can be washing the car, cleaning house, at work, on the computer. It's not like you have to sit down and meditate on it. You can. You can fall asleep to it at night. But I think it's so important, since we have these powerful words and this tune and this frequency and this sound, you know, try it maybe just for a week, every day. Listen to that 28 minutes of those songs just on Asha and the All Good Spirit and love, and see what that does. You know, we're being programmed and bombarded with Rome. Try programming yourself with truth, with love, with Asha, heaven on earth. See what happens. All right, guys, you know this. What did you just think? I love, love, love you, or Asha is? It's both. Asha is, and I love, love, love you.